Assalamu alaikum. Many people believe that Abu Hamid Al-Gazali is a great personality. He's almost a miraculous person in his mind, in his philosophy, etc., etc. There are many memorials that in many countries they make conferences under his name, the philosophy of Abu Hamid Al-Ghazali, and they call him Hujjatul Islam, the evidence of Islam. Today we're going to present to you some of his doctrine. I have spent 1 year in studying all of his books, especially his book Ihya Ulum al-Din, the revival of the knowledges of Islam. I have studied it. 1 year of my life I spent it on reading his books, nothing else. And today I'm going to present to you the summary that I had in my study of this person. I provide everything with evidence, with reference. I'm going to read to you some of the things that his books contain, and I leave it to you to determine. The first thing that we have with Abu Hamid Al-Ghazali is he praises doubt, claiming that doubts let you reach to the truth. So the first is doubt, then after being doubtful, then that doubt will reach you to the reality. He says, whoever does not doubt, he will not be seeing. And the one who doesn't see, he will be falling in blindness and misguidance. That is in the book Mizan al-Amal, page 137. It seems that Descartes had taken this theory from Abu Hamid Al-Ghazali. Regarding the revelation with Ghazali is not only for Prophet. He talks about a special sense that comes from beyond the mind, that the Sufi, through it, can be seeing the unseen and what's going to happen in the future. The same book, Mizan al-Amal, page 22, from 21 to 22. Then he says something really bizarre, very strange. وَاسْتَمِعْ بِسِرِّ قَلْبِكَ لِمَا يُوحَى. And listen by the secret of your heart to what had been revealed, to the revelation. وَلَعَلَّكَ مِنْ سُرَادَقَاتِ الْعَرْشِ تُنَادَى. So you will be called from the high place of the throne. You will be called تُنَادَى بِمَا نُودِيَ بِهِ مُوسَى إِنِّي أَنَا رَبُّكَ. So you will be called by the one who called Musa before. So you'll be hearing Allah saying to you, I am your Lord. Ihya Ulum al-Din, 4th volume, page 251. Well, he believes also that inspiration has no difference. There's no difference between inspiration and revelation. Because people used to be believing that inspiration is for the non-prophet people, but revelation is for the prophets. Therefore, he says in his book Al-Ihya, volume 3, page 19, وَلَمْ يُفَارِقِ الْوَحْيُ الْإِلْهَامَ فِي شَيْءٍ مِّن ذَلِكَ. There is no difference that we can feel between inspiration and revelation. فَإِنَّ الْعِلْمَ يَحْصُلُ فِي قُلُوبِنَا بِوَاسِطَةِ الْمَلَائِكَةِ. For the knowledge that occur in our hearts is through angels, not through book and sunnah, through angels. That's what he's saying. Al-Jawahir Al-Ghawali, this is series, page 135 and 140. Then he says something really strange. He said, he who has nothing of this kind of knowledge, that means through the angels, getting the knowledge through the angels, that they penetrate knowledge in his heart. The angels penetrate knowledge in his heart. If you do not have that kind of knowledge, if you do not have that kind of system, process, then فَإِنَّهُ يُخْشَى عَلَيْهِ مِنْ سُوءِ الْخَاتِمَةِ, that there's a fear that his life may be ended with misguidance. Mizan al-Amal, page 22, Kimya al-Sa'ada, page 91 and 92. Ihya Ulumuddin, volume 3, page 18, and volume 4, page 426, and volume 1, page 19. Not only this, but in his book Mishkatul Anwar, page 40, he states that among the awliya, the allies of Allah, awliya, man yakadu yushriqu nuru, among them are those whose light can be arising حتى يكاد يستغني عن مدد الأنبياء, to the extent that he will be in no more need for the support of the prophets. So he doesn't need the prophets, because the knowledge that he has through the angels will suffice him from needing any kind of prophet. And Ghazali talks to us about what happened to the awliya, those allies of Allah, when they start following this Sufi way. تبتدئ المكاشفات والمشاهدات. There begins the seeing, supernatural kind of seeing. That means seeing, for example, the upper kingship, the upper dominion, and that is through the reflection between the heart and the sacred panel at the seventh heaven. Reflection that takes place from the sacred panel to the heart. So they start to see things, in their awakeness, not in their sleep. They can see the angels clearly, and the spirits of the prophets, and they hear their voices, and they can attain many benefits from them, from the angels, from the prophets. Then the case will be escalating, mounting more higher and higher, until they see the image, and he means by that God. And the examples that's what he said, as-sura wal-amthal, to an extent of something that happens which is not possible to express it, which is not possible to explain it, because anyone who may express what he see, what he experience, then he will be saying something evil. He'll be falling in error. Al-Munqidh min al-Dalal, which is one of his most significant book, page 50. You know that they say that sometimes a person, when he sees these things, he starts to speak strange words, such as saying, I am God, I am Allah. That what he means. In many places he was saying this. Okay, then he says, how do we understand the book and the sunnah? He said, understanding the book of the sunnah is dependent on the kashf. Kashf means what you attain from knowledge through the angels, through Allah even directly. Kashf. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reveal to your eyes and to your heart the knowledge. So by this kashf, you can then either give ta'wil, explanation to something, or it is prohibited. It depends on what occurs of knowledge in your heart. So the book and the sunnah are not the source. Even those two, which are supposed to be the source, they're not the source anymore. The source is the kashf, the revelation. What occurs, what God threw in your heart. That's the source. No more book and sunnah. Al-Munqidh min al-Dalal, page 11. Then he said, whoever confine the knowledge on the book and the sunnah, he had narrowed the wide mercy of Allah. Well, I don't know what does he mean by this. Al-ضلالات also page 11. Whoever limit or confine the sources of knowledge by the book and the sunnah, he had already narrowed the wide mercy of Allah. So don't narrow the wide mercy of Allah by saying to the people, only book and sunnah. No, there is something called kashf, which occurs in your heart. That's another source. And that source, kashf, is directly between you and Allah. Directly between you and the angels. So the book and the sunnah have nothing to do with this. It's very strange. And they call him Hujjatul Islam, the evidence of Islam. This is philosophy. This is not Islam. So let's see now, what is the Tawheed with Ghazali? Tawheed is very important, you know. Tawheed with Ghazali is to believe that there is nothing in the existence except Allah. And there is nowhere, no doer, in a matter of fact, except Allah. The real doer is Allah. We are just like toys. You see, we call it the marionette, or Pinocchio. You know, someone who stands behind the panel that contains toys, and those toys are tightened with strings, and he can move the toys by. That's the example Ghazali says. He said, you can see those toys, the actions of the people. The actions of the people are just like the toys, the moving of the toys. So who's the real mover when those people move or act? The angels. The angels are doing the same thing of that man who's standing behind the panel. So they are moving, they are inspiring the people to do whatever Allah ordered them to do. What Allah ordered the angels to let those human beings move, just like the toys. That's what he said. Ihya Ulumuddin, volume 4, page 246 and 247. And the creator and the created is one thing in Ghazali, because he believes in what is called Wahdatul Wujud, the unity of existence. Yes, we can see human beings, creatures, but in fact those are the appearance of God. So God and his creatures are one, which is worse to me than saying and these three are one, because the Christians say Father, Son, Holy Ghost, and these three are one, but those Sufis seem to be saying creator and creatures, and all of those are one, which is very strange. That is why he called it Al-Fana. Al-Fana yani, to be dissolved. Let me explain to you the word Al-Fana. So you'll be dissolved with Allah, to be dissolved as one entity. That's why he says Al-Fana fi Tawheed is the best Tawheed, which is the Tawheed of Al-Hallaj. He mentioned Al-Hallaj. You know who's Al-Hallaj? Al-Hallaj used to be extremely believing that God and his creatures are one. Al-Hallaj. They crucified him because of his false belief. And he used to be saying, oh, there is nothing in this cloth except Allah. So the one who's wearing this cloth is Allah. Al-Ghazali, when he was talking about Tawheed, he praised the Tawheed of this man, who believes that the Creator and the creatures are one. Where's that? The 4th volume of Ihya Ulumuddin, page 247. And that's why he believes that there are 2 types of Tawheed. Tawheed for the ordinary people who say La ilaha illahu, but there's a special kind of Tawheed which is for the special allies of Allah. What is that? What is the banner of this Tawheed? La hu illahu. See, the normal Tawheed is La ilaha illahu. This is normal, there's not the special. The special is, there is no he but he. Lahu illahu. He's talking about the one entity. There is a unity as one entity. Wow, that's what he believes. That's why I have to give some explanation. Anyway, he said the best tawheed, the highest rate of tawheed, is the tawheed of one who does not see in the existence except one. And this is the viewing of the Siddiq kind of people, extreme believers. And the Sufi people call it al-fana'u fi al-tawheed. Al-fana', yani the mixture in tawheed. That means a mixture between the creator and the creation. He said, and this is the utmost goal in tawheed, mashallah. So the best tawheed of the Ghazali is to believe that the existence is only one creator, created beings, whether be it human beings or even dogs or animals, all of those are one, who is Allah. Well, tell me, don't tell me I'm lying at him. No. That's what he said exactly. Ihya Ulumuddin, 4th volume, page 246. And he says, the good Arif Billah, the one who is a best knower about Allah, when his heart becomes extremely with Allah, then he'll be seeing Allah. And al-haq, now you see, he uses the word haq. People think that he's talking about the truth. No. One of the attributes of Allah is al-haq. He's talking about Allah. Why? Because he's saying, وَتَجَلَّى لَهُ الْحَقِّ, and Allah will be appearing Himself to him, مِنْ غَيْرِ وَاسِطَةٍ, without any mediation. Ihya Ulumuddin, volume 3, verse 15, and volume 3, verse 78. Then he said, the Siddiq kind of people, Siddiq is the highest one in belief, are those who saw Allah alone. Then they saw the things through Him. So they did not see in the two worlds except Him. And they did not see in the existence anyone but Him. And this is the sight by the eye of Tawheed, which make you understand that Ash-Shakir, the grateful, is Allah, wal-mashkur is Allah, and the thanked one, the thanking one, and the thanked one are one. وَأَنَّهُ الْمُحِبُّ وَأَنَّهُ الْمَحْبُوبُ, and He is the lover, and He is the one who is loved. The one who loves and the one who is loved are both one. وَهَذَا نَظَرُ مَنْ عَرَفَ أَنَّهُ لَيْسَ فِي الْوُجُودِ غَيْرُ. This is the seeing of one who knew already that there is nothing in the existence, in the universe, except Him, Allah. Ihya Ulumuddin, volume 4, page 86. And Al-Imla fi Ishkalat Al-Ihya. This is a small volume that have been followed, added to the 4 volumes of Ihya Ulumuddin. You know why? Why they added this volume? In this volume, he added it to his book because he was defending a word, a statement that caused many scholars to believe that he left Islam already by this statement. He said, it is not possible for God to create a better creation than what He created. And they said, this is the consequence of philosophy. This is the consequence of philosophy. Look at what happened to the man. Now he's believing that God cannot create things better than what He did. So that volume was added to the 4 volumes of Ihya Ulumuddin. Why? To defend this false statement. So in this book, Al-Imla fi Ishkalat Al-Ihya, page 30. Then he said, the Arif people, after raising up to the sky of reality, they agree that they did not see except one in the whole existence. Then they were intoxicated. They're talking, the Sufis talk about intoxication in God. Then some of them said, I am Allah. And some others said, Subhani ma a'zama sha'ni. Praise be to me, high exalted I am, how great I am. These words are supposed to be referred to Allah. Now he's referring that to himself. And some others said, there is no one in Jannah, in paradise, except Allah. He said, these words are the words of the lovers that should be filed, bended, closed, and put away. But when their intoxication became less and less and less, now they knew that this is not the unity between God and His creatures, but it seems to be. Just like the one who said, I'm quoting, just like one who says, who I desire, and I desire who. We are two souls that were dissolved in one soul. Yani God and Him became one. أنا من أهوى ومن أهوى أنا نحن روحان حللنا بدنا. مشكات الأنوار, page 19 until page 21. And he said, the pure tawheed is that you see nothing on earth except Allah. Everything you see is Allah. Mishkat al-Anwar, page 19. Furthermore, he claimed that the prophets came to invite people to the pure tawheed. And the translation of that tawheed, La ilaha illallah, which means that you see the only one God. When you say La ilaha illallah, it means there is no one in the existence except God. That is the meaning of La ilaha illallah with this man. Ihya Ulumuddin, 4th volume, page 86. And he utilized this ayah, وَشَاهِدٍ وَمَشْهُودٍ, the surah, وَالسَّمَاءِ ذَاتِ الْبُرُوجِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْمَوْعُودِ وَشَاهِدٍ وَمَشْهُودٍ. He said, Shahid is the witness. Mashhud is the one who is witnessed. So the witness and the witnessed are one. That's Ghazali. Rawdat al-Talibin. This book is for Ghazali. Page 25. He said, this is the viewing of one who acknowledged the existence that it's only him and no one else. Everything you see in the existence is Allah. Every doing, every action in the world, it's the action of Allah. What about the bad? Bad and good both are the action of Allah. Ihya Ulumuddin, volume 4, page 86. And that's why he said, yeah, that's it. He said, as there is no one is in the existence except Him, so there is no doer, in a matter of fact, except Him. Stealing, killing, him. What? Fornicating, him. That's Him. Oh, I'm telling you. Sorry, Ghazali is telling you. Any action in the world is nothing but Allah's actions. Ihya Ulumuddin, volume 4, page 89 till 90. He said also, as you see the boys watching the toys, thinking that the toys are moving by itself, our actions is like those toys. They know, those people of knowledge, they know that this is to be moved by Allah. It's not moving by itself. It is tahriq, walaysa taharruk. That's what he says in Arabic. That's what he said. I'm quoting. He said, this is tahriq. Yani someone to let him move and act. Tahriq. Not taharruk. Taharruk yani self-moving. But tahriq, no. It's someone else is making him moving. This man is very strange. And the actions of the servants are tightened with strings, that the angels are moving by the orders that they get from Allah. So the tahriq, the moving, is Allah's moving, not the servants moving in a matter of fact. Ihya Ulumuddin, volume 4, page 97. This belief of Abu Hamid Al-Gazali is a Jabr belief, Jabriya, which means we are forced to do, we are dictated by God to do what He wants us to do. Then the question rises, then why we are blamed for what we do if the deed is His? So if the actions of the servants are tahriq by Allah, so there's nothing wrong to believe that the servant is obliged to decide and act by what Allah dictates him to do. So he said, well, you may be saying, isn't this jabr? Jabr yani forced. A person is forced to act. Because if he says yes, well, then we have to ask him, so why people are blamed for what they do? God should not be blaming them, since He is the one that dictate them to do what He wants and to decide what He wants. So he said, yes, even if he has the option to decide, he is forced to take that option. مجبور على الاختيار. What is that? And then he says, فهو مضطر في الاختيار له. He is obliged to choose what have been determined for him. يعرفه الدين, volume 4, page 250. Then he uses a word. He uses the ayah, وَمَا رَمَيْتَ إِذْ رَمَيْتَ وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ رَمَى. I have to explain this. When the Muslim army confronted the pagan army, the Prophet was the first person in the front. So the distance between the Muslim army and the Kafir army was a bit far. Usually, if someone throw a stone, it won't reach. But Allah ordered the Prophet to throw the stone. Then Allah said to him, you did not stone when you stoned, but it was Allah who stoned. So they use that to prove that the person is dictated to do an act and decide. The ayah has nothing to do with this. It's a miracle. The Prophet took some stones and he threw. Yes, you threw, but you were not able to let it reach to each one of them except by the power of Allah, because normally that cannot happen. See, those Sufis are manipulating that ayah. Page يعرفه الدين, volume 4, verse 6.
And we know necessarily that the deeds are not only stoning, the deeds are various, fornicating, stealing, killing. So let's measure these deeds with the ayah Al-Ghazali used. Should we say you did not fornicate when you fornicated, but it was Allah who fornicated? You did not steal when you stole, but it was Allah who stole? What kind of false interpretation? Those people are manipulating the ayah and use it to prove that we are dictated on what we choose or what we do. This is Imam Ghazali.
Among his horrible statements, he was praising allies of Allah and their affairs and their actions. Then he was talking about Abu Yazid Al-Bustami, a significant person whose the Sufis are always referring things to him. Abu Yazid Al-Bustami. One Sufi man whose name is Abu Turab, he was saying to his disciple, I wish you have seen Abu Yazid Al-Bustami. He kept every time saying this to his disciple, until his disciple said to him, listen, what do I have to do with Abu Yazid Al-Bustami? I have seen Allah already, which sufficed me from the need of seeing Abu Yazid Al-Bustami. Then Abu Turab said to his disciple, after becoming angry, he said to him, are you deceived with Allah? Are you deceived of Allah? Wallahi, to see Abu Yazid Al-Bustami one time is better than seeing Allah 70 times. Allahu Akbar. Then Abu Hamid Al-Gazali praised this and he said, this is the best attitude and the best wisdom and the best actions and words of those people. He praised them. He praised them. Ihya Ulumuddin, volume 4, page 356. People also criticized Abu Hamid Al-Gazali for praising in his narration Sahl al-Tastari, another Sufi, who says, as for the matter of lordship, it has a secret. If it were to be revealed, then the secret of prophethood will be cancelled. And the prophethood has a secret. If it was emerged or shown, then the knowledge will be terminated. And the scholars have a secret. If they showed that secret, then the Sharia of Allah will be cancelled. What is this? Al-Imla fi Ishkalat al-Ihya, which is, as I mentioned to you, the fifth volume, page 63. And I mentioned earlier this problem, which he said in his book Al-Ihya, fourth volume, page 256. And Al-Imla, the fifth volume, page 63, he said, there is no possibility for God to create a better creation than the creation He did already. Then, so if you want to become Sufi, what do you have to do? Al-Ghazali says, you stay in a corner, Zawiya they call it, which is also a minor Sufi temple that you dedicate yourself in worship there. A corner. Zawiya means literally a corner. You only pray the obligatory prayer and the rawatib, the voluntary prayers. And you sit down, and your heart should be free from concerns and problems and lively affairs. And do not bother yourself by reading Quran, nor to ponder on its meanings. And you do not write hadith, nothing. All right. So what does he do? Then you put your head in your pocket, and you put your head down, and then now you wait until you'll be seeing Allah directly. Yeah, it's in Ya'rafo, volume 3, verse 60. Ya'rafo, volume 3, page 76 to 77. Isn't it amazing? It's very amazing. Then he says, so let him cleanse his heart and make it pure. So it will become like a star. And it will become like a mirror. A clear, pure, clear mirror. And then that mirror will be reflecting to him. That reflection will be seeing the beauty of Allah al-Haq. And he will be seeing the one who is Rafi'ud Darajati Dhul Arsh. He's talking about Allah. Seeing Allah. Which is against the way of Ahl Sunnah, who believe that Allah cannot be seen in this life. Cannot be seen. Due to the capacity that Allah created in us. And at the Day of Judgment, this capacity will be changed. It will become stronger. Will be qualified to be able to see Allah, in which we can't now. But he's saying you can. Purify your heart, cleanse it, prepare yourself, don't read Quran, don't read Hadith, put your head in your pocket, then you'll be able to see Allah. Then he said, the significance of khalwa. Khalwa means a nook, N-O-O-K, a place where you isolate yourself away from people, you live alone. The benefit of that nook place is to distract yourself, keep yourself away from things that will be bothering you, concerning you. So you stay in a dark house. If you don't have a dark house, then you wrap your head in your pocket, or put any blanket or anything to cover your eyes. In this case, you'll be hearing the call of Allah and you'll be able to see Him. I'll say it in Arabic. ففي مثل هذه الحالة يسمع نداء الحق ويشاهد جلال الحضرة الربوبية. That means put your head inside your pocket or cover your head with something, okay? Isolate yourself for a period of time, then you'll be able to see Allah and to hear His voice. Ihya Ulumuddin, volume 3, page 76. This is very strange. So the Quran and Hadith, in the perspective of Ghazali, is a hindrance. Is hindrance. Those two are hindrance. You should not be bothering yourself with them. He also mentioned in his book Mizan al-Amal, page 31, that one of the Sufi people, he wanted to follow the way of Sufism. Then he asked his sheikh to allow him read Quran. He said to him, no. Wow. He said, the way is that you cut your relationship with everything in this life. So he made reading Quran is one of the hindrances that will be stepping between you and Allah. The Quran is distractor from Allah. Well, that's what he says. Then he quoted one of the great Sufi sheikh. He quoted him as saying, if the man seek the science of hadith, or he got married, or he traveled for making life, for provision, that means he had hearkened already to life. Wow. This is criticism for one who seek to provision. No. Ihya Ulumuddin, first volume, page 61, second volume, page 24 and 237, and the fourth volume, page 229. And he quoted Al-Junayd, one of the Sufi significant people, that he advised the one who take his way to Allah. He said, saying to him, أحب للمريد المبتدئ أن لا يشغل قلبه بثلاث وإلا تغيرت حاله. I advise the one who's beginning with his way to Allah, that he should not be busying his heart with the three things, otherwise his attitude will change. What are these things that may distract you from your way to Allah? Number one, at-takassub, seeking provision. That means working. Talabul hadith, trying to read the hadith of Rasulullah. What tazawwuj, and getting married. So Abu Sulaiman al-Darani said, if the person seek hadith, or he got married, or traveled for lively provision, he had hearkened already to dunya, to the life. Ihya Ulumuddin, first volume, page 61, and second volume, page 24, and page 237, and page 229. So don't seek provision, don't seek Quran and Sunnah. No. This is one of the amazing things. Horrible, wallahi horrible. As for the Quran, he said, those who are devoting themselves on the way of Sufism, all the ayat, the verses of the Quran are not suitable for them. Ihya Ulumuddin, second volume, page 298. And he made it clear in his book Al-Arba'in fi Usul al-Din that he said, you should know that reciting the Quran is better for all creatures except for the one who is going to Allah. A'udhu billah. What is that? What are you talking about? Al-Arba'in fi Usul al-Din, page 46. And that's why Al-Ghazali directed in his advice to the Sufi people in their free time that they should not be bothering their concerns with reading Quran or checking tafsir or writing hadith. Ihya Ulumuddin, volume 3, page 19. And he mentioned a long story. I'm going to summarize it to you, that a man was looking for a big Sheikh Sufi. Then eventually he found him. Then he said to him, I want to read to you one poetry, just one. Then he said, all right, go ahead. Then he recited ayah. Then afterwards he said, I want to mention to you some poetry. He said, go ahead. He said, رأيتك تبني دائما في قطيعتي ولو كنت ذا حزم لهدمت ما تبني كأني بكم والليت أفضل قولكم ألا ليتنا كنا إذ الليت لا يغني. That scholar, Sheikh, was sitting down like this and his disciple was reading the Quran for a long period, for the whole day. Then when he heard this poetry, he took the Quran like this and closed it like that and put it away.
And he kept shouting and yelling and crying until his tears filled his beard. Then,
and he said to this man, he said, do you blame the people of Rai saying about me that I am heretic? Look at me now. I've been listening to the Quran for the whole day and nothing happened to me. I just heard that poetry from you and my tears filled my beard. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. So, look what he said. The problem is what Ghazali said. He said, so, now he's commenting on this story. He said, the hearts, even if they are filled with zeal to Allah, burning to reach to Allah, but the one poetry line will be affecting them more than the recitation of the Quran. A'udhu billah. Ihya Ulumuddin, second volume, page 301. It's very strange. What is worse with Ghazali, that he despises Jannah. Despises Jannah. I think the word despise means, yeah. He despises Jannah. What? Yes. He says, there are people who are so keen to enter paradise by which they will be applying the desire of their stomach and the lust of their private parts. Their joy will be ending there in paradise. Having children, having wives, and having fruits. This is a limited joy. But the Sufi people, no, they want something higher than that. What do you want, O Ghazali? The Sufi people, they don't want Jannah. They despise Jannah. They don't even bother themselves to look at it. Everything in Jannah has no value to them. What do they want if they don't want Jannah? They want to sit down with Allah personally. Yeah, they don't want Jannah. They want to be with Allah, sitting with Him in His assembly. Wallahi, that's what he said. Ihya Ulumuddin, volume 4, page 335. He said, there's a common practice between the animals and the human beings, which make them partners to the animals, is the appliance of the lust of the stomach and the lust of the private parts. This is something in common between humankind and animal kind. So this is the attitude of the stupid people, because they have no concern, they have no goal, aim, except to apply the desire of their stomachs and the desire and lust of their private parts. That's what he's saying. And he said that Jannah is a toy of children. Jannah is a toy of children. But those who are entering Jannah, they are ignorant people and even stupid, because they have no concern but applying the desire, the lust of private part and the lust of their stomachs. Ihya Ulumuddin, volume 4, verse 335. Jawahir al-Quran, page 24. And Ihya Ulumuddin accusing the people of paradise, because they have no concern except to apply the need of their private parts and their stomachs. So they have already substituted the minor and leaving the major. Ihya Ulumuddin, volume 4, page 381. And also Ihya Ulumuddin, volume 4, page 335.
My dear brothers, this is a blasphemy. kufr. This is a matter of disbelief or insulting the people of paradise, claiming that they are foolish people. We know necessarily that among those people are prophets and messengers. Are they foolish? Didn't the Prophet Ibrahim keep asking Allah, وَاجْعَلْنِي مِنْ وَرَثَةِ جَنَّةِ النَّعِيمِ? Oh Allah, let me be among those who inherit the bliss of paradise? I mean, those people are seeking something more than what the Prophet Ibrahim wanted from Allah. This supplication of the Prophet Ibrahim shows that this is the utmost zeal that he desires and he dreams to have. Why does Ghazali and the Sufi people want something more than that, over what the prophets wished and asked Allah? This is very strange. This has nothing to do with Islam. This is the consequence and the fruits of philosophy that this man was drawn with. That's what his disciple Ibn al-Arabi, he described him, that he swallowed philosophy and he wanted to vomit it, but he couldn't. Is this the deliverance from error, as was titled in his significant book Al-Munqidh min al-Dalal? Is this deliverance from error, or drown in errors and the fables of Sufis and philosophies? So as a result, we say Abu Hamid Al-Gazali, when he became philosopher, this philosophy affected him until he became Sufi. Then he became the worst. But thank God, hopefully, that he changed his way after that. And he wrote, just 14 days before he died, he wrote a book called Iljam al-Awam an Ilm al-Kalam. The title means preventing people from Ilm al-Kalam. This is philosophic rhetoric, saying in this book that the best way is the way of as-Salaf, those predecessors, and any way that disagree with the way of a Salaf is a matter of innovation. Now, my word is a scream to those who criticize the Salafi way. Look, this is the experience of Ghazali, who went into all kinds of cults. Then it ended with him by giving you the advice that the Salafi way is the best. Let's continue. Unlike what he used to be believing before, that whoever believes that there is another existence with Allah, he is mushrik. He is mushrik. That's what he said. This is how Ghazali used to be understanding the Tawheed, monotheism. What is monotheism? To prove that the Creator and the creation are one. This is monotheism to him. To believe that there is no he but he. There is no him but him. These are Sufi indications about, indicating the matter of one existence, that the Creator, God, and His creatures are one. This is how he used to be understanding the Tawheed. And if somebody proved that no, there is difference between the Creator and the creation, he calls him mushrik, pagan.
The answer is that he is mushrik because he proved that there is another existed one with Allah. Because the existence is only one. The Creator and the created beings are one. That's what he believes. Ihya Ulumuddin, volume 4, page 86. So La ilaha illallah, as we explained it before, in Ghazali's perspective, it means there is no one that is existed with Allah. So the existing one is Allah only. It was really amazing. He said, when he was asked to explain this, he said, look, man is only one person. You can see a man, he's one. So in this perspective, yes, he is one. But in another perspective, he is a lot. He has fingers, he has intestines, he has heart, he has blood, he has nerves, he has eyes, he has all all of these things, they are following that one, they belong to that one person. So the man is one, but he is many at the same time. He is one, but he's many at the same time. He is a lot. He's one, but he's a lot. Wow. You want me to tell you where he said it? No problem. Ihya Ulumuddin, volume 4, page 246 and 247. And furthermore, he said that prophets came to the Tawheed, to the monotheism. So what is monotheism to Ghazali? He said, which means that La ilaha illallah, it means I do not see in all of the existence, I don't see anyone except Allah. That's the monotheism in Ghazali's perspective. Volume 4, also the same page, page 84. And also he said that seeing Abu Yazid al-Bustami one time, it is better for you than seeing Allah 70 times. Ihya Ulumuddin, volume 4, page 356. And that Abu Yazid al-Bustami, when he said to him, do you want to cure yourself from seeing yourself high valued? He said, yes. Oh, he was asked about that. He said, you won't be able to do it. He said, why? He said, because you are conceited by yourself. He said, so is there a way? He said, yes. He said, how? He said, you bring a basket and put it on you and pass by people, and you give one nut to everyone who give you a hit on your, slap you on your face. He said, Subhanallah. The man was amazed. He said, Subhanallah. Then Abu Yazid al-Bustami said to him, saying Subhanallah is shirk. Why? Because Abu Yazid said to him, because you praised yourself. Subhanallah means you are praising yourself, in a matter of fact, magnifying your soul. Ihya Ulumuddin, volume 4, page 358. And in addition to this, we mentioned to you what he said before, that it is not possible with Allah to create a better creation of what He created. Also, he says that doubt leads to certainty. You should be doubting to reach the certainty. But what about you died on the way to certainty? So you died while you did not reach certainty. What's going to happen to you? Where's the mind of those people? Subhanallah al-Azim. Finally, he believes that the wali, the ally of Allah, can hear the wahi revelation from Allah as Musa heard it from Allah. Ihya Ulumuddin, volume 4, page 251. The Sufi has a high grade or maqam or rank. They call it ar-rida, content. And they teach you how to be contented with God. To be contented with God is that you neither ask Him paradise nor seek refuge with Him from hellfire. Yes? Because if you're contented with God's fate and destiny, then you should not be making any effort or ask God to change something with you. Because they believe that this will be a sort of protesting, objecting against God's decision, fate and destiny. That is why he quoted a story of a man who lost his son. So people asked him, shouldn't you be asking Allah to return your son to you? He said, no. He said, losing my son is easier to me than objecting against the will of God. That's what he said. Ihya Ulumuddin, volume 4, page 350. And he has a book called Al-Arba'in, also page 200. So they believe that, if you ask Allah to remove the calamity, this will be a sort of protesting against God Almighty. What about depending on Allah, tawakkul? Well, Ghazali says, If you treasure for 1 year, you are not among those mutawakkil people who depend on Allah. You're not among them. And if you spare and hide, supplements for 40 days, you'll be, oh my God, you'll be deprived from the praised rank at the Day of Judgment. That means you may not drink from Al-Kawthar, the pool of the Prophet ﷺ. Why? Because you treasured some food, some supplements. Why? You should not be having supplements for 40 days. What you get, you eat, and that's all. Don't keep anything. Because the word iddakhara, to hoard, to spare, to reserve, that's what it means. So if you reserve for 1 year, you are not X on your tawakkul on Allah, depending on Allah. You're not depending on Allah. But if you reserve and spare and keep for 40 days, you are risking yourself to be deprived from the al-maqam al-mahmud. Al-maqam al-mahmud means the intercession of the Prophet to you. So you'll be deprived from the Prophet's intercession for you if you spare food for 40 days. Where did he say that? It's interesting. Ya'rafo, 4th volume, page 276. And also he says that caring about provision is ugly with regards to the religious people. But with the scholars, it's worst. Because seeking provision, seeking livelihood, it prevents, it shackles from taking your way to Allah, marching to Allah, coming to Allah. It prevents you from coming to Allah because you're seeking livelihood. Ihya volume 4, page 275. And the best kinds of tawakkul, depending on Allah, in his perspective, is the tawakkul of those who go to the wilderness, to the wide land, free from supplements, free from anything, trusting Allah. Then he says, but if he died because of hunger, so he should be contented with death, because then it means that Allah made his death as his provision, because he got nothing of provision. So now this is the highest level of depending on Allah. The lower one is the rank of the one who depends on Allah, but he doesn't go to the wilderness, but he stay at home or in the masjid, and he depends on Allah. And the lowest one, so you have low, lower, lowest. The lowest rank is the rank of the one who seeks provision because he has children, and the children do not know this high rank of tawakkul. So he has to go and seek provision for them. And he could not persuade them, his children, his family, his wife, his children. He could not persuade them that death because of hunger is the best provision that Allah grants him. MashaAllah. What is worst is what he said now. And this lowest rank is the rank of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. Oh my goodness. Ihya volume 4, page 272. Why? Because Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, when he was elected to be the caliph, the leader of the Muslims, he put some textiles on his shoulder after he'd been elected to be the leader. Then he went down to the market to sell some textiles to make some livelihood. Then Umar and I think Zayd, they saw him in the marketplace. They said, "What are you doing here?" He said, "Well, I have to take care of my family. I have to make a life, provision, seeking provision." They say, get back, get back. We will assign for you, specify some salary that will, it may be barely enough for you and your family. So get back and do not go to the marketplace now. You're the leader. So that's why Abu Hamid Al-Gazali, he considered Abu Bakr to be achieving or deserving to be having the lowest rank of tawakkul on Allah. Why? Because he went to the market seeking provision, and that is not a good rank or level among the levels of tawakkul depending on Allah. That's what he said. Also he said, it is permissible to the person to leave. It is also permissible, with Ghazali's perspective, that you refuse to take the medicine if you're sick. For many reasons. One of them that this sick person may be among those mukashif people. Who are the mukashif people? Mukashif people are those who are revealed by God. So it had been revealed to him that your death is very soon. So he doesn't need to take the medicine because of this. That's what he said. Among the etiquettes of tawakkul for the one whose belongings have been mugged in his house. First one, he should be closing the door and not to protect himself. Just close it, don't lock it, just close the door. So you should not be closing your door. If you put something, just to tighten it a little bit, you're allowed to do it because you may be afraid that some dogs may get in. Only because of this reason. Yeah, that's the first adab, is that you do not close your door. But you just put something just to prevent the dogs from, not the thief, the dogs only. Now, the second, that he should not be leaving in the house something that will be provoking, attracting, encouraging the thieves. You know why? Because you are the reason for them to come to your house, because you're leaving something valuable in the house. Third, but what he was obliged to keep in his house, now he should be intending something when he goes out, and that is to keep an intention that I'm contented regarding the thing that may get lost or it may get mugged, or that Allah may destine a thief to come and take my things. I'm happy with this. And he should be saying, what the thief had taken from me, it is halal for him to take, or it's for the sake of Allah. Yeah. Or if that thief is poor, it is sadaqah, charity on him. The fourth is that if he found a mugged money, he should not get sad, but he should be happy if possible. Then he says, had not it been the best to be mugged, Allah would have not been let it be mugged or stolen. And he should not be going too far in seeking it to be returned to him. If the money was returned to him, it is better for him not to accept it after he put in his intention that it is for the sake of Allah. What about keeping awake at night? Ghazali said, it purifies the heart, it wipes him, it illuminates him. In addition to this, the purity of the heart will be attained by hunger. So the heart through hunger will become just like the illuminated, like a star, illuminated star, yeah, and the clean mirror. So because of hunger, that will be also enabling him to see the beauty of Allah. And he said al-haq, and I mentioned to you, Ghazali may not put the word Allah, but he put the word haqq. So people will be confused. What did he mean by the word haqq? And haqq is one of the names of Allah. Did he mean Allah, or he's talking about the matter of truth? Because haqq means truth, and Allah is the truth. That's why one of his names is Al-Haqq. So he manipulates, he playing on the word. But look what he said after. وَيُشَاهِدُ رَفِيعَ الدَّرَجَاتِ. And then he'll be able to see the highest, as Allah described himself in the Quran. رَفِيعُ الدَّرَجَاتِ ذُو الْعَرْشِ. Rafi'a, he's the highest. So that's why the angels go up to him. So now he's saying, and he'll be able to see Rafi' al-Darajat. That means talking about Allah. So as-sahar, you know what I mean? Sahar means standing awake without sleeping. He says, standing awake without sleep, it will be a cause of hunger, because staying awake with satisfaction, it is not possible. So sahar, keeping awake, is one of the reasons to be revealed to you the secrets of the unseen. You have to be awake, hungry. What about drinking? He said, regarding drinking, 70 Siddiq, and the highest in faith, they all agreed that the excessive drinking will be causing sleep. Sleep is not good to you. What about food? He said, well, one Sufi had said, that's what Ghazali is saying. He said, you should be hungry because it makes you attaining, be with the upper creatures, upper world. And he narrated from another Sufi who said, the best worship, it occurs to me when my stomach will be sticking to my back. There is nothing between, no food. And his intestines will be sticking to one another like this. The best worship is when my stomach will be stuck to my back. Ihya Ulumuddin, volume 3, page 85. This is the Ghazali that Europeans and Americans in the world, they are celebrating his memorial anniversary. All right. What about marriage, oh Ghazali? Let's see what he said about marriage. He said, the murid, yani the disciple who has a sheikh to train him, to the gradual ranks of the Sufism. He says, the murid in the beginning of his, way of Sufism, he should not be busying himself with marriage, because marriage is a shackle, is a matter of distraction that distract him, busy him from taking the way. Then you'll be hearkened to life because of the wife, to life because of the wife. And whoever became reassured in this life away from Allah, then he'll be busied from Allah, he'll be distracted, diverted from the way of Allah. Then he quoted Abu Sulaiman al-Darani, one of the famous Sufis. Man tazawwaj faqad rakana ila dunya. Whoever got married, he had already hearkened to life. Wow. Well, that means priest and nun. This is Christianity. Ihya Ulumuddin, volume 3, page 101. Then he quoted him saying also, I haven't seen any of my own Sufi people that married and he lasted on the same rank. That means he's collapsed, he went down because of marriage. MashaAllah. So stay awake at night, don't drink, don't eat, what else? Or remained on his rank, high rank. That means he's going to collapse. Ihya Ulumuddin, volume 2, page 24. Keep hungry. If your money in your house have been stolen, be happy. Say it's sadaqah, fi sabilillah. Zuhud, what is zuhud? Zuhud means asceticism. They call zahid ascetic. He doesn't really care much about life. Life is nothing to him. All right. So what is asceticism to you, Mr. Ghazali? Is that you eat one piece of hummus every day. Chickpeas. One piece of chickpeas per day. Nothing more. This is zuhud. This is asceticism. Mizan al-Amal, page 117. And the real asceticism is to get rid of admiring yourself, to be taken by yourself, to be conceited by yourself. So how can you get rid of this problem? It is a problem, I admit. So how can we do that? He said, in this case, he should be taking the initiative of doing things that he'll be blamed for. His value, it will fall down. His honor will be falling down. And this is the way of mulamati. Mulamati, that means, you know what it means? Mulamati means, it's from malama, blaming. Mulamati is the one who does things that will cause people to blame him. He said, he may commit abomination, like even fornication, committing adultery. So they will be falling from the eye of people. Then he'll be saved from prestige, from showing off. Yeah. He said, among them are those who drank something halal, but in a red cup, inside a red cup, which has the same color of alcohol or wine. So people will be thinking that he drank wine. So they will say, oh, he's a bad person. Then he'll be saying, now I feel good. Yeah. And he quotes one of the Sufis. He went to a general bathroom. The bathroom, hammam we call it, in the old time, it used to be a common one. People may go to the bathroom to take shower. But it used to be for all people. It's not like today. It doesn't mean that they become top naked. No. It's just like what we see in Turkey, for example. It's still, until now there, they call it Turkish showering. Yeah, so people used to be getting inside the shower, keeping their clothes out. So it occurred a good idea to this Sufi man to come and to steal the clothes from people. So what people did to him? They caught him and they started to beat him, and they got their clothes away from him, back from him. Ihya Ulumuddin, 3rd volume, page 288. There's something worse now. Some of them, they used to be treating themselves from the attribute of anger. How? He wants to be extremely patient. What does he do? He used to be giving people money to slap him and to insult him. Imagine this. He's training himself to be patient. Yeah. And not to be angry. Come on, take money and hit me. Keep hitting. Now I'm not angry anymore. I treated myself. I cured myself from the problem of anger. Okay. And another person, he treated himself from the problem of loving money. Then he took all of his money and he threw it in the sea. Yeah. Now he doesn't love money anymore, mashallah. Yeah. And it had been rated that Ashibli, one of the Sufis also, he treated his matter of stinginess by throwing all his money in the river of Dajla in Iraq. And he said to the money after throwing it, No one that magnified you, but he will be humiliated. There is something worse now. He said, the worshippers in India, he's not talking about Muslims in India now. No, worshippers, Hindus. The worshippers of India, and by the way, many sources of rituals in the Sufis have been taken from the Indians. He said the worshippers of India, they used to be treating their problem of laziness in worship, laziness, by standing all the night on one leg. There are many fables that Al-Ghazali had been accepted and written and narrated. For example, he said that among the allies of Allah, one of the allies of Allah, that means, just like we're saying in English, saint. In Arabic they call him wali. Yeah. So he says, among the allies of Allah is one whom the Kaaba, the black stone, the Kaaba visit. The Kaaba visit. So what do we have to say now if people went to perform Umrah or Hajj? Oh, just wait for a while or until tomorrow. Okay? It will return. Now it is visiting someone. Can you imagine that one of those Sufi people, Ibn Abdin, in his Hashiyah, he said, he tried to solve this problem. He said, well, then it is allowed to take the land of Kaaba as direction for prayer, since the Kaaba itself is not there. Wallahi, that's what he said. It's in his book, Hashiyat Ibn Abdin, Volume 1. Page 302. He said, he's quoting from a book called Addat al-Fatawa. He said, the Kaaba, if it had been raised from its place to visit the people of Karama, to visit the people of miracle, honored people. In this case, it is allowed to pray taking the direction of its land, the ground. Because the Kaaba is not there. The Kaaba is busy. It is visiting someone who is one of the allies of Allah. That's what he said. So, Ghazali is not the only one who believed this. The Sufis used to be believing it. Ihya Ulumuddin, Volume 1, page 269. Among the fables, this is fable. This is fable. Cannot be believed. This is hoax. This is superstition. And also he said, if you start trimming your nails, starting from this finger and on, starting from the right to the left, like this, it will be saving you from the sickness of the eye. If you suffer, some ache in the eye ache, or there's a disease called ramad, a problem in the eye. If you suffer this problem, no problem. You want to cure yourself from this problem? No problem. Start to trim from the right to the left, then the problem of the eye will be solved. Did he say it? This had been mentioned by As-Subki in his Tabaqat al-Shafi'iyya, his well-known book. Subki and others, they mentioned that this is one of the problems that people criticize Ghazali for. What is the relevance between trimming and the pain in your eye? So the book titled as Tabaqat As-Subki, Volume 4, page 144. Also, Al-Ghazali quotes Abu Hamid Al-Bustami that he swore by Allah to punish his soul by preventing himself from drinking 1 whole year, and he lasted 1 year without drinking. You think that happens? Ihya Ulumuddin, Volume 4, page 356. And he mentioned one of the way of dhikr, remembering Allah, that you put your head in your pocket, or if you're not able, then you bring a blanket, sheet, and cover your head with it. Then you'll be able to hear Allah and to see Him. Wow, those Sufis are lucky. You know, the Prophet Musa, they call him Moses, could not been able to see Allah, and Allah said to him, "You won't be able to see me." No, but the Sufis are different. Or maybe it did not occur to Musa that if he cover his face with a sheet or blanket, then he'll be able to see Allah. Volume Ya'rifo al-Din, volume 3, page 76. And he also mentioned that the life every day keeps addressing Allah, speaking to Allah, the whole life, saying to Allah, "Oh Allah, why do you hate me?" Then Allah replied and said to the life, "Keep quiet, silent." I did not say the word shut up. Oh, nothing. So Allah is describing life that it's nothing. So the life is saying to Allah, "Why do you hate me?" Then Allah said to her, "Keep quiet, oh nothing." Ya'rifo al-Din, volume 3, page 210. And it is allowed to call the angels lords. Well, the Sufis do not signify between Lord and God. Lord and God are the same. So, according to their law, okay, which makes God and Lord one thing, so that means the angels can be gods. And Allah will be called the God of gods. Mishkat al-Anwar, page 28. And I mentioned that whoever seek to learn the science of hadith, or he got married, or he traveled for livelihood, he had already hearkened to life. Ya'rifo al-Din, volume 1, page 61, and volume 2, page 24, and volume 2, page 237, and volume 4, 229. In those places in Ya'rifo al-Din, he mentioned it many, many, many times. And he said, if you have two thawb, just like galabiya, or I don't know what you call it, if you have two, you have nothing to do with zuhud. You are not zahid. You are not ascetic person. No. Ya'rifo al-Din, volume 4, page 231. What if I have only one thawb, and I want to go to work, or I want to go out to the marketplace? Oh, wait. Stay at home. Don't go until your only one thawb will get dry. What? There's no other solution. Otherwise, you should not be having two thawb, two jackets, etc., two shirts. You should be having one. Because if you have two, then you are not ascetic. MashaAllah. Also, he allowed the wali to tear his clothes. You know, when he has something called wujd. Wujd, that means he lost control on himself. He speaks rude, bad words. He's not conscious to what he is not mindful to what he behaves or says. So such person may be tearing his clothes. But did you forget, Ghazali, that he has only one thawb, one cloth, no two? Well, then he said, it is allowed, it is permissible when you have this wujd, you became out of your control, and you tear your shirt. You can make this up by selling your torn clothes, and people will be using it. Why? To patch carpet. They can use it to patch carpet. Wallahi, that's what he said. Wallahi, I'm quoting exactly what he said, changing nothing. Where did he say that? Ya'rifo al-Din, volume 2, page 304. You should notice something here. That Ghazali is talking about these issues, but at the same time, as he was writing these things, his book, Ya'rifo al-Din, it was free from any chapter about jihad, I think. While Petros, they call it Petros and Nasik, the ascetic Petros, He was preparing all kind of army, big army, organizing the armies, the Crusader armies, to come and attack the Muslims. And when Jerusalem was attacked, Ghazali was isolating himself in a corner, taking a small corner in a masjid, isolating himself from people at that time. So Petrus was not isolating, but Abu Hamid Al-Gazali was isolating himself. Can you imagine that also there are manners of begging, manners or the dancing manners, but there is no place for jihad? Al-Adab fi Din, page 124, regarding the etiquettes or the ethics of begging, the ethics of dancing. Ya'rafo, volume 2, page 282. So there's a chapter for the manners and ethics of dancing, but there's nothing about the ethics of jihad, nothing. Also, he said, if you don't get rid of the sickness of being seen and having fans by people, you should shave your head and shave your beard. Shave your head, shave your beard, and you hang on yourself a basket, put it, hang it on through your neck, and put it on your breast, your chest, and you fill it with jaws. You have nuts in the basket, and you pass by people, nut, and you say to the people, whoever gives me a slap on my face, I'll give him a piece of nut. That's what he said. Ya'rafo, volume 4, page 358. And also he praised those who have the character of dog. How come? Well, Ghazali said that one of the Sufis, one of the people invited one Sufi. So as the Sufi came at the time of invitation, the man said to him, you know what, I changed my mind, go. Then he went. Then he said, wait a minute, come tomorrow. No, not tomorrow, no. At the same time. He said, come. Then he came. Then he said, you know what, go. He went. Then he said, come. He came. Then he said, khalas, go. Then this man, he admired this Sufi. He said to him, wait a minute, I was testing you to see how patient you are. And you have a great character. You do not get angry with me. He said, well, if you want to know the reason, I have copied the character of the dog. When the dog is said to him, stop, he stops. When they say to him, come, then he comes. So what you saw from me is the character of the dog. Ya'rafo, volume 3, page 71, and volume 3, page 358. He repeated it twice. Now these kinds of fables are a matter of innovation. But among his fables are types of fables that cause kufr, denial of faith, exiting Islam, exiting the fold of Islam. Like what? In his book Ya'rafo, volume 4, page 84, he says, whoever claims that there's another created being or existing being with Allah, he is mushrik, he's pagan. What? If I believe that the creatures are different from Allah, I'm pagan? Yes, that's what he said. Why, O Ghazali? Because La ilaha illallah means I do not see in the existence. The answer is that he is mushrik because he proved that there is another existed one with Allah. Because the existence is only one. The creator and the created beings are one. That's what he believes. Ya'rafo, volume 4, page 86. Now, after you've seen this, I don't know, please, for anyone or everyone who finds my video, let him go to those who make the festivals and the conferences about the knowledge and the way of Abu Hamid Al-Gazali. Ask them, what is this? What is this? What's going on? Is this Islam? La wallahi, it has nothing to do with Islam. That's enough. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.